All right, now let's talk about automation because once you have stuff arranged, this is a really good time to start thinking about, do I want an effect to only happen at a specific time? For example, if I go to my drums, I did include a filter here, didn't I? Yes, I did. And let's say maybe that could be fun, right? So, okay, maybe I want to automate the filter frequency for the intro of the drums. That's why I set the macro knob up. Let's not let it go to waste. I think that'll be good. Looking in the arranger, I can see underneath the record arm, solo, and mute buttons, there's a button here with some lines. If I click on this, this shows me an automation lane, and that's very, very useful. I'm going to expand this a little bit by doing like so. And the last parameter that I touched is what shows up here. So that's why it says frequency. That's also why it's a good idea to name your parameters. If you're making macro knobs and stuff, name them something descriptive. Okay. Frequency, I didn't have to rename that because that's pretty descriptive on its own. I'd like to automate this for the intro, and I want to automate this over the course of the first, I guess, 8 bars. So there we go. When I adjust the filter frequency knob, might be kind of hard to see, but there's a very faint little blue line here showing me the current value. And I want to make that line solid. So I'm going to go ahead and just click on it starting at bar 9, because this is where I want the value to end up at bar 9. And now this is solid. So I could either go on here and put breakpoints and do stuff like this. And maybe I want this to open up more gradually. And then more, I'm not really sure yet. I should listen to this and figure out what it's doing. All right, so we're not starting with any kick. Going that low is probably unnecessary. Actually, it should probably open up by the time we get here. Let's do that. Okay, so I don't need this breakpoint. Single click, double click to delete it. If you want to, you can also use the pen tool. Let me press 3. Yes. And then I could do fun stuff like this, and it'll interpolate that. But that's just unnecessary. There we go. All right. Okay, cool. One last little thing here. Let's say maybe in this clip. Okay, the last snare lands right there, right? Okay, and maybe what I want to do is make it so that I can have this snare get sent to reverb or delay or something like that. Let's say reverb, okay? This reverb has specific settings. I don't want to use this one, so I'm going to add another effects track specifically to have a reverb with a much longer decay time that I can use for transitions and stuff like that. All right. And again, there's all types of presets and blah, blah, blah. I'm not worried about that. I just want to point out the fact that sometimes you use the same effect in different ways, and there's nothing wrong with having multiple instances of it. Maybe not a lot of multiples, but, make them specific for the purpose you need, okay? So, all right, here, what I want to do is I want to send the snare that hits on the 4th beat to this reverb. I'm going to rename this so I don't get confused, and let's just call this long verb. There we go. Okay, so I need to adjust that parameter. And if I adjust this is I'm tripping. That's not the right track. Here we go. I select this track. If I adjust the parameter for long verb, I see the automation lane changes, and now I'm looking at the long verb parameter. Okay. So what I'm going to do is simply just put, I'm not going to use the pencil tool. I'm just going to put breakpoints where I want this to be. It's going to go all the way to full volume there, and then it's going to turn off right there. All right, let's hear what this sounds like. Nice. It takes a long time to fade out, but that's actually pretty cool. And now everything else being sent to a reverb is not going to have to deal with this long decay time because it's all going to my other reverb. The last thing I'll point out is this. When you're dealing with automation, sometimes you want to see more than one automation lane at the same time. If that's the case, I can hit this plus button. And then I can keep this automation lane here and then choose a different parameter, such as the filter, which is what what did I automate here? These are the things I've already automated. Filter frequency. There we go. So now I can see these two things side by side, which makes it a lot easier to coordinate all my automation.